May I have your attention? I'm calling the April 8th, 2025 Liquor Board hearing in session. We have no minutes to approve from the previous meeting. And the first case, I believe we've made a change. Chief, would you go ahead? I'm sorry, Mr. Hurdle has an announcement or two to make, and then we'll go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Abraham Hurdle, counsel to the board. At the beginning of every meeting, council makes a few brief announcements. First, the commissioners are part-time public servants and they have outside interests. When they know they have a conflict of interest or the appearance of a conflict of interest, they will recuse themselves. They cannot possibly know who will appear from the public in any given matter which may present a conflict of interest to them. If anybody believes that any commissioner has a conflict of interest in any matter, you have to announce that to us as the case is called, and the commissioner or commissioners, as the case may be, will deal with that accordingly. If not, the commissioners will proceed with all hearings under the assumption that there is no conflict of interest. Secondly, the rules of the board provide that the chair, for the purpose of administrative and judicial economy, can have the board's counsel, myself, rule on the admissibility of objections and evidence if there are counsel present and objections are made. This board handles many cases at every hearing, and this assignment allows us to expedite the hearings. So rather than the chairman turning to me and me advising the chairman, I'll simply make a ruling, and that ruling will be that of the chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hurdle. Chief Ford?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Will do. I have a few quick announcements. First, I'd like to take the opportunity to remind you, if you haven't already, to please silence your cell phones. Arundel Station Liquors LLC, trading as Cheers and Spirits, has been withdrawn from tonight's hearing. And MCR BWI Beverage Management LLC, trading as Homewood Suites BWI Airport, and Maryland Wine and Spirits LLC, trading as Maryland Wine and Spirits, have both been postponed. So our first case for the evening is H&B Fuller Wine and Spirits. Mr. Howard Fuller, owner. Ms. Drain Letitia Fuller, clerk. Detective Middleton, badge number 1061. Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Inspector Jere Slocum. This is a Class A packaged goods, beer, wine, liquor, Sunday license, located at 710 Bestgate Road, Annapolis, Maryland 21401. The license is not restricted. There are 4 violations. 1, violation of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, Chapter 4, Section 4.01A, minors, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705243 by Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, and Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, incident date February 17th, 2025. 2, violation of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Annotated Code of Maryland, Title 6, Section 6-304, selling or providing alcoholic beverages to individual under the age of 21 years, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705243 by Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, and Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, incident date February 17th, 2025. 3, violation of the Maryland Annotated Code Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis, Title 11, Section 1902.1, Alcohol Awareness Program, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705243 by Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, and Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, incident date February 17th, 2025. And finally, number 4, violation of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, Chapter 4, Section 3.01D, ownership and operation, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705243 by Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, and Detective Middleton, badge number 1061. Incident date February 17th, 2025. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please approach the table. And if you could please stand.
Mr. Fuller is excused from standing.
Thank you.
It's okay.
If you could please raise your right hand. And do you solemnly swear, Mr. Fuller, your other hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hurdle? Oh, I'm sorry. Detective Mountcastle, if we could start with you, name, address.
Detective James Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Thank you.
Detective Thomas Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police, Western District.
Mr. Fuller, if you could please state your name and address for the record into the microphone.
Howard Fuller, Maywater, Maryland.
And I'm Doreen Fuller.
And your address, please?
You want my home
Yes,
address?
please.
Oh,
You could give the business address. That would be fine.
Howard Road, England. Oh, 710 Bestgate Road.
Okay, and that would be the same for Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Hurdle?
Detectives?
Good evening. Detective Mountcastle here. On 2/17 at approximately 11:54 hours, Detective Middleton and I were working Operation SAVE, Selective Alcohol Violation Enforcement. We were conducting compliance checks of retail businesses. We directed a confidential source, a 19 years of age subject, to enter the H&B Fuller Wine and Spirits located at 710 Bestgate Road in Annapolis. We observed the confidential source enter the business. The confidential source picked out a 12-pack of Budweiser beer and proceeded to the payment counter. The clerk did not ask the CS for any identification. The CS had been given official Anne Arundel County funds and was able to purchase the Budweiser beer. The CS exited the store, immediately turned over the alcoholic beverage to us. I know through my training, knowledge, and experience, Budweiser beer is an alcoholic beverage. Detective Middleton and I entered the store, identified ourselves as police officers, and we identified the clerk as Jeraine Latetta Fuller. Her date of birth of 6/21/1968. That was via her Maryland driver's license. We advised Miss Fuller of the violation. Miss Fuller advised she was just filling in for a while and there was a manager upstairs. Miss Fuller advised she had taken the alcohol awareness class and had not received her certificate. Photos of the business, the Budweiser beer, the Anne Arundel County liquor license, Miss Fuller, and her identification were taken and submitted in this report. The Budweiser beer was later destroyed. Miss Fuller was very cooperative and apologized for her mistake. A copy of this report was forwarded to the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. The case is closed.
With the fact that it was her mistake?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. No further questions from me.
Commissioners, any questions? Mr. Fuller, it's your case at this time.
Say it again.
It's your case at this time. Do you have anything in mitigation?
Is there anything you would like to say on your behalf?
I don't know.
Nothing?
I just want to say that my father-in-law always told us, he showed us the route to do this as far as what you must do in the store at all times. I made a mistake and it was like not feeling good that day. So I messed up. I admit to that. But it has been times when we cart all the time, but this one day I messed up. I have taken fake IDs from teenagers in the store. And I'm the type, he's been in business so long, and we never want to let him down as far as his business, because that's his life. That's what keep him going. 92 still come to his store. And I just ask for everybody to just be leaning on us today.
Ms. Fuller, I have just one question.
Yes,
There's
sir.
an indication that you had the alcohol awareness taken. Did you have a certificate?
No, so they was preparing me. I'm still like in learning the store. I'm not in there every day all the time. So we are waiting for them to we take the test. We haven't taken the test yet. So we work we're like apprentice. Like we work under a licensed person. I'm mostly in there with my father-in-law.
Mr. Chairman, do you have any questions?
I have a couple. I do. I appreciate your statement. It's my understanding there is a management agreement on the premises there. I'm showing that there's 2 active people who are not expired, Thompson and Brown. Are they still employed there?
Yeah. Thompson and Brown.
Life, is that correct? They're
Yes.
both working there?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there was a Betty Brown and a Karen Myers, but I'm showing that those alcohol awarenesses are expired. Are they still working?
Who that again?
It was a Betty C. Brown and a
Sure,
Karen.
yeah.
I'm sorry?
Sit there.
They're there? Okay. Well, their alcohol awareness, according to the information we at the liquor board have, is expired, so you may want to check into that.
Okay. I believe
Okay.
she, excuse me, I think they're picking that up on the 9th. She got a 1045 to pick up license. Is that what he's talking about?
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. Picking up the license is one thing. What I'm saying is, the law requires that the owner of an establishment be on the premises at all times, unless for any reason he or she cannot be, that a person whose name that appears on a management agreement can be on there. And I'm showing 4 people, but I'm showing 2 of them are expired, which may not be factual. So if you would get with our office and get that straightened out, I'd appreciate it. My other question is, and I understand you're basically asking for, if I may use the word forgiveness in this case, but I'm looking back at the record, and I want everybody to understand this, that since 2009, there's been 5 previous sale to minors. That's 2009, so 16 years, let's call it. But when we look at this, we don't go all the way back. We only go back for 5 years. But even at that, I'm looking at it, and he's had 2 within the last 5 years. Both of them were in 2022, in which he was found guilty. One time he paid a $1,000 fine, and another time Mr. Fuller paid $1,500. So this is his 3rd strike in a 5-year period. That's pretty serious. We take sale to minors very, very seriously, as you can imagine. So I just wanted to make those comments clear to everybody, because I don't want everybody to think the liquor board, is going to pick or beat up on somebody. The record speaks for itself, and it's not nice. I have no further questions at this time.
Commissioners?
I have no question.
No questions.
Mr. Fuller, Ms. Fuller, this is your chance to offer any rebuttal testimony, anything in response to the questions you've heard.
I want to get out of here.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a motion, and and I understand difficulties with physical abilities and agilities and so forth. Hopefully the people you have helping you in the store are going to be, and this includes you, of course, going to be more watchful, more careful, because the 3rd time, I'm going to recommend the 3rd time in 5 years, and I'm not talking about the other group of total of 6. I'm going to make a motion that we find on the first 2 charges, which are minors and under age of 21, $1,500 on each. That's a total of $3,000. On the ownership and the alcohol awareness, I'm just going to fine you $100 on that. So the total here is $3,200 is my motion, and I'm looking for a second.
I want one question. I've been in business 54 years at a liquor store. I got a big sign by the door. ID, check ID. Somebody come in. Why the officer still send you in with this big sign that says, but check out all ID. Sign already there. Why they send them in?
I understand the sign's there. I believe our chief inspector was over there, and he saw the sign.
Do what now?
Our chief inspector stopped by your establishment, and he saw the sign, so we are aware of that.
If you saw the sign, why you send them in there?
Well, the job of the police department and the liquor board is to make sure that nobody sells to minors. And the best way to do that is to check them. Now, evidently, and I understand you don't want to be bothered by either the police or the liquor board,
Thank you.
but let me explain to you, sir. 6 times? And let me say this, you really need, and perhaps you can stress this to your father-in-law. if he comes back anytime soon, it's going to be the fourth time in a 5-year period. And that's, could end up, I'm not saying it will, but it could end up in a suspension of the license or closure. I mean, I don't know. But the ruling or the motion is a total of $3,200 in penalties. I have a second, I believe, and I'm looking for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I'm afraid that's the ruling of the board. I am sorry, and I feel sorry for you because you were in a position. Hopefully you get your training done, and please make sure that everybody who works there understands. Do whatever you have to do to check everybody's ID. 19-year-old walked in that store and bought alcohol. That person may not have been a confidential source, could have went out, got in a car, drank some of that, gone down the road and killed somebody. We're not going to be part of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Case closed.
Thank you very much. Our next case for the evening is Colony Liquor Mart, CLB and Sons, LLC. Christopher Basista, Managing Member. Elizabeth Lee Glennon Marinelli, Clerk. Detective Middleton, badge number 1061. Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Inspector Vin Pelletier. This is a Class A packaged goods beer, wine, liquor, BWL tasting. Sunday license located at 3259A Solomons Island Road, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037. The license is not restricted. There are 2 violations. The first is violation of the rules and
Excuse me,
regulations.
Chief. If you want to put him in a chair and roll him out, that's okay, Jerry. Thank you. I'm sorry. I
That's okay.
apologize, Chief. Go ahead.
I'll start with violation 1 again. Violation of the rules and regulation of the Board of Licensed Commissioners for Anne Arundel County. Chapter 4, Section 4.01A, minors regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-702638 by Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, and Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Incident date January 25th, 2025. 2, violation of alcoholic beverages and cannabis article annotated Code of Maryland, Title 6. Section 6-304, selling or providing alcoholic beverages to individual under the age of 21 years regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-702638 by Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, and Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Incident date January 25th, 2025. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please approach the table and remain standing. And sir, if you could raise your right hand for me. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. And Detective Mountcastle.
Detective Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
Sir, your name and address for the record?
Chris Basista, 3259A Solomons Island Road, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037.
Great. Thank you very much. Mr. Hurdle?
Detectives?
Good evening, Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police. This incident was January 25th of this year, 2025. It was approximately 10:20 in the morning. Detective Mountcastle and I were working Operation Save, conducting alcohol sales compliance checks of retail businesses. We directed a confidential source, 19 years of age subject, to enter Colony Liquor Mart, 3259A Solomons Island Road, located in Edgewater, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. We observed the confidential source enter the business. The confidential source went to the store, picked out a 6-pack of Labatt's Blue beer, took it to the front counter. The clerk did not ask the CS for identification. The CS was given official Anne Arundel County funds, was able to purchase Labatt Blue beer from the clerk. CS exited the business, immediately turned over the alcoholic beverages to us. I know through my training, knowledge, experience that Labatt's Blue beer is an alcoholic beverage. Detective Mountcastle and I entered the store, identified ourselves as police officers, and identified the clerk as Elizabeth Lee Marinelli with the date of birth of May 31st, 1996. The clerk advised that she was on the manager's agreement and alcohol awareness trained. She was advised of the violation. Photograph was taken of Miss Marinelli and the Anne Arundel County liquor license. The photograph was taken of the Labatt's Blue beer and was subsequently destroyed. The clerk was cooperative and the store was not busy at the time of the sale. A copy of the report was forwarded to the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. This case was closed.
Any questions for the detectives?
No, that's all true.
No, but just to repeat myself, Detective, you said the clerk was cooperative and the store was not busy at that time?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. No further questions?
Commissioners, any questions?
No question.
Sir,
I don't want it to sound like excuses, but it was but an explanation. Liz was at the store by herself. She wasn't supposed to be. We were hit hard by the flu. And that night before, she had just broken up with her fiance of 7 years. So it was just a tough morning. She wasn't scheduled to work by herself. We were working on getting somebody else in the store. My store manager was home with the flu. I was home with the flu. My wife was home with the flu. It was tough, but it was her mistake. And, not because of this incident, but she's moved to Florida mainly because of the breakup, and she has a full-time job down there. It was her mistake.
Okay. Thank you for your statement and your honesty. And unfortunately, these mistakes are what really hurts everybody. It hurts your business, hurts the citizens. It hurts the juveniles out there who will take advantage of it if they can, and we understand that. I'm aware of this being only the second offense within the last 5 years. Do you know anything any different? Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Commissioners, any questions?
No question.
Sir, did you have anything in response to the questions?
Okay.
Chairman.
Thank you. Try to hold to somewhat of a steadfast guideline as to penalties that are terminated or that are set by the previous violations. This is only the second one, but you have two charges, one for minors, one for under the age of 21. One's a county charge, one's a state charge. I'm going to make a motion that we find you guilty of both. We've heard nothing to the contrary. And I'm going to make a motion that we fine you $1,000 in each of those two charges, a total of $2,000 plus cost. I'm looking for a second.
I second the motion.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So be it, sir. $2,000 in costs. You'll be contacted by the liquor board. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next case is Mayo Liquors LLC. Surinder Sandhu, Managing Member. Kirat Singh Sandhu, Clerk. Detective Middleton, badge number 1061. Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Inspector Vin Pelletier. This is for Class A packaged goods, beer, wine, liquor, BWL tasting Sunday license located at 200 Mayo Road, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037. The license is not restricted. There are 4 violations as follows. 1, violation of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, Chapter 4, Section 4.01A, minors, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705234 by Detective Middleton, badge number 1067, and Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Incident date, February 17th, 2025. 2, violation of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Annotated Code of Maryland, Title 6, Section 6-304, selling or providing alcoholic beverages to individual under the age of 21 years, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705234 by Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, and Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155. Incident date, February 17th, 2025. 3, violation of the Maryland Annotated Code, Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis, Title 11, Section 1902.1, Alcohol Awareness Program, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705234 by Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, and Detective Middleton, badge number 1061. Incident dated February 17th, 2025. 4, violation of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, Chapter 4, Section 3.01D, ownership and operation, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-705234 by Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, and Detective Middleton, badge number 1061. Incident dated February 17th, 2025. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please approach and remain standing if you would. And please raise your right hands. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much, and you may be seated. Detective Mountcastle.
Detective James Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
If you could state your name.
Surinder Sandhu, 324 Highland Drive, Edgewater, Maryland 21037.
Sir?
Kirat Singh Sandhu, 200 Mayor Road, Edgewater.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hurdle?
Detectives?
On 2/17/2025 at approximately 09:30 hours, Detective Middleton and I were working Operation Save, conducting alcohol sales compliance checks of retail businesses. We directed a confidential source, 19 years of age, enter the Mayo Liquors located at 200 Mayo Road, Edgewater, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. We observed the confidential source enter the business. The confidential source went to the store and picked out a six-pack of Modelo beer and took it to the front counter. The clerk did not ask the CS for identification. The confidential source was given official Anne Arundel County funds and was able to purchase a Modelo beer from the clerk. The confidential source exited the business and immediately turned over the alcoholic beverage to us. I know through my training, knowledge, and experience that Modelo beer is an alcoholic beverage. I entered the store. We entered the store. We identified ourselves as police and identified the clerk as Kirat Singh Sandhu, date of birth of 10/24/02. Mr. Sandhu was advised of the violation. He advised that he was not on the manager's agreement and he has not had any alcohol awareness training. Mr. Sandhu advised that he doesn't normally work at the store and was just filling in for his uncle. There were no other employees in the store at the time of the sale. A photograph of Mr. Sandhu, the Anne Arundel County liquor license, the Modelo beer was taken, and then the Modelo beer was destroyed later on. The clerk was cooperative, and the store was not busy at the time of the sale. A copy of this report was forwarded to the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board, and this case is closed.
Mr. Sandhu, do you have any questions for the detectives?
Not really.
Again, just to repeat myself, cooperative and was not busy, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
No question.
Mr. Sandhu, it's your turn.
Yeah, Mr. Kirat Sandhu, he actually took the TIPS training on December 19, 2024. So I have the proof this month. And also I applied for him to be on the management agreement before that. So he is on the management agreement too.
Yes, and we'll take that into consideration.
Okay.
We are aware of that, of
Okay.
those two charges.
Yeah. And also, if you see that, so what happened is in January, I had this ID check software installed on my POS system. So somehow we were facing some problems with the software. So it was my mistake. I inactive that. And right after that, I had to go to India for a family emergency. And when I came back, I activated that application again. And if you could see that, we always check every customer's ID. And actually, we scan in the system.
Maybe I missed it, but you said you did scan it this time?
No, we did.
Because it wasn't presented,
Like
correct?
in January, I was facing some software problems with the
okay.
check ID application.
I understand now.
So I had to go to India, and they were facing problems in the store because sometimes it just the system hangs. So I was like, okay, let me inactive, and maybe the software team will work to fix it, and they never fix it. So, and I think when I came back, I contacted them again, so they fixed that. So the software is installed. So we always scan every single. I'm not in the business to sell alcohol to the minors.
Good.
Yeah, seriously, I'm not.
Okay, I understand.
Any questions?
Not really a question at this time, but you are aware of the fact that this is the third time in 4 years that you've sold to minors? Two prior. You are aware
I
of
do,
that?
but that was during, with the humble respect, that was during the COVID time. You know, we were going through, you know, hell of the time. The world was upside down. If you see, my establishment was open since 2014 until the COVID hits. We never got any violation. And during that, because I was sick with the COVID, I had to bring employees from my subway. So that's what that happened, you know, because they weren't trained, and I wanted to keep the doors open for my customers.
You know, a lot of people were under a lot of duress and struggling, and we understand that. I have no further questions.
Commissioners?
No question.
Anything in response, sir?
All right, and I do understand about COVID. You know, trust me, my family was hit by it. A lot of families were. But we still had businesses open, and they were still selling, and they had to sell carefully. And a lot of people were wearing masks, and it was all kinds of, that's exactly right. But because this is the third time in less than 5 years, I'm going to stick to the same criteria as you've heard me say previously. And I'm going to make a motion that we dismiss charges 3 and 4, so you don't have to worry about that. Going to make a motion we find you guilty on charges 1, minors, and charges 2, under the age of 21, with a $1,500 fine on each one, a total of $3,000. And please be careful, because it's the third time. If there's a fourth, like I've warned other people this evening, it could be even more serious. We don't want that for you.
I don't want to come back here.
We don't want you to. All right. That's a motion. Looking for a second.
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So be it.
Aye.
$3,000 in cost. Our administration will be in touch with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Lots of
much.
luck.
Our next case is Muddy Creek Liquors, GNS Liquors, Inc., Yogesh and Herpara, President Treasurer, Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, Inspector Vin Pelletier. This is for Class A packaged goods, beer, wine, liquor, Sunday license, located at 500 Mayo Road, Edgewater, Maryland, 21034. There is a restriction on this license as of November 22nd, 2005, that all licensees and employees must be certified or recertified in an approved alcohol awareness training program within 60 days. There are 2 violations, and they are as follows. 1, violation of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, Chapter 4, Section 4.01A, minors, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-702639 by Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, and Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, incident date January 25th, 2025. 2, violation of the Maryland Annotated Code, Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis, Title 6, Section 6-304, selling or providing alcoholic beverages to individual under the age of 21 years, regarding Anne Arundel County Police Report number 25-702639 by Detective Mountcastle, badge number 1155, and Detective Middleton, badge number 1061, incident date January 25th, 2025. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please approach the table. And sir, if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And Detective.
Good evening again, Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
I'm sorry, Detective Middleton. Detective Mountcastle, if you could start by giving us your name.
Detective Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Thank you.
Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
Thank you. Sir, your name and address for the record.
Yogesh Herpara, 500 Mayo Road, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037.
Thank you very much. And no.
Good evening again, Detective Middleton. This incident was on January 25th of this year, 2025. It's approximately 11:04 in the morning. Detective Mountcastle and I were working Operation Save, conducting alcohol sales compliance checks of retail businesses. We directed a confidential source, 19 years of age, subject to enter Muddy Creek Liquors, located at 500 Mayo Road in Edgewater, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. We observed the confidential source enter the business. The CS went to the store, picked out a 6-pack of Busch Light beer, took it to the front counter. The clerk did not ask the CS for identification. The CS was given official Anne Arundel County funds, was able to purchase the Busch Light beer from the clerk. The CS exited the business, immediately turned over the alcoholic beverages to us. I know through my training, knowledge, experience that Busch Light beer is an alcoholic beverage. Detective Mountcastle and I entered the store, identified ourselves as police officers, identified the clerk as owner, Yogis Hipara, to the left of me. He was advised of the violation. Mr. Hipara looked directly at me, raised his eyebrows, and stated, "Can we let this slide?" I immediately replied, "No, we cannot let this slide." A photograph was taken of Mr. Hipara in the Anne Arundel County liquor license. Photograph was taken of the Busch Light beer, and it was subsequently destroyed. The store was not busy at the time of the sale, and a copy of the report was forwarded to the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. This case was closed.
Mr. Hipara, do you have any questions of the detectives?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so he actually said, "Can we let this slide?" Correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and your answer was in the negative? No? Lucky for you. When you violate a law for one of these gentlemen or ladies who's wearing a badge to ignore that, they could find themselves in serious problems or lose a job. I understand why you would ask, probably somewhat human nature. So I'm not going to hold that against you, if you will, because like I say, it's somewhat human nature. What I am concerned about is you are not only the clerk that night, you're the licensee. That establishment is in your name. Okay, I have no further questions.
Commissioners, any questions for the detectives?
No questions?
No.
Mr. Hipara, do you have any response, any testimony to give?
Okay, if I may, unlike previous cases, you have no serious violations or sale to minors or for non-compliance. This is your first offense within that 5-year period that you've heard everybody's heard me talk about. So I'm going to make a motion, but you also have a restriction on your license, and it says, and it was put on there November 22nd, 2005, all licensees, meaning you, and all employees, any employee, must be certified or recertified by an approved alcohol awareness training program within 60 days. My first motion is we change that. We take away the 60 days. Any employee you have working at your store must be certified by an alcohol awareness training course before they work there. And
Just me and my wife.
okay, well then it shouldn't be a problem as long as you and your wife are certified, because you're the licensee and I'm assuming your wife is an employee. So please make sure you keep your alcohol awareness training. But I am changing that restriction and removing the 60 days. Okay?
Okay.
So it really shouldn't affect you, but just so you know, that's what's going to be on your new license. The other part of this is a motion because it is your first offense, sir. And I do appreciate a clean record. I really do. I'm going to make a motion that we find you guilty and we fine you $500 for each of the 2 offenses. That's a total of $1,000. That's my motion. Looking for a second.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So be it, sir. That $1,000, the administration will be in touch with you. And thank you for your previous clean record. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, we keep checking,
I'm sorry?
We keep checking, asking.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, our next case is Parks Drive-In Liquors.
Thank you.
God bless, Mr. Lyman.
Lyman. Fresh air.
If you could remain standing for me, please. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. And if you could raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And Detective Mountcastle.
Detective Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
Good evening, Brian Lyman, Lyman, on behalf of the licensee, who's to my left.
Ming Lu, 5311 Bowwood Court, West River, Maryland 20778.
Letitia Smith, 6811 Old Solomon Island Road, Friendship, Maryland 20758.
Thank you very much.
And preliminarily, I'd note for the board that the clerk is no longer employed and was excused from attendance tonight.
Understood. Excused.
Detective Mountcastle. On 1/25/2025 at approximately 12:10 hours, Detective Middleton and I were working Operation SAVE, conducting selective alcohol violation enforcement compliance checks of retail businesses. We directed a confidential source, 19 years of age, to enter Parks Liquors at 454 East Bay Front Road, Deal, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. We observed the confidential source enter the business. Once inside the store, the CS picked out a 12-pack of Modelo beer and took it to the front counter. The clerk did not ask the confidential source for identification. The confidential source was given official Anne Arundel County funds and was able to purchase the Modelo beer from the clerk. The confidential source exited the business and immediately turned over the alcoholic beverages to myself and Detective Middleton. I know through my training, knowledge, and experience that Modelo beer is an alcoholic beverage. Detective Middleton and I entered the store, identified ourselves as police officers, and identified the clerk as Zachary James Weathersby, date of birth of 7/27/2001. Weatherby advised that he had been working at the store for approximately 7 months and had not had alcohol awareness training. He was advised of the violation. The store manager, Miss Letitia Smith, date of birth of 7/1/1987, was also on the scene and advised of the violation. Photos were taken of Weatherby's Maryland driver's license, the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board, the Modelo beer, and the outside of the business. The Modelo beer was destroyed. Weathersby and Miss Smith were very cooperative, and the store was not busy at the time of the sale. A copy of this report was forwarded to the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. The case is closed.
Any questions?
Yes. Did you bring with you proof of your confidential source's age?
Yes.
May I review that? Thank you, Mr. You indicated that the clerk and the manager on duty were very cooperative.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that at all? What makes them very cooperative as opposed to merely just cooperative?
Just out of their way to just be nice and not make it a terrible situation.
Okay. By any chance, did they give you any explanation for why the confidential source was served that day?
Not that I recall.
Okay. No further questions.
Chairman, any questions?
No, I think everything is plain and clear.
Mr. Lyman?
Thank you. Seated to my left is your licensee and the manager who are on duty the day of this incident. I just refresh for the board's recollection that my client, Ms. Liu, obtained her license from the board by way of transfer in 2012. She didn't have any violations until 2022. I was very happy to hear that the chairman elaborated, so I don't have to, about the difficulties during COVID. Everyone was wearing masks, and it was during COVID that Ms. Liu had her prior violation. I don't need to get into the facts of that issue or incident, but this incident happened. Underage service happened. I advised Ms. Liu to immediately install a ID scanner, and I have photos that I'd asked to be marked as Exhibit 1. I apologize. I just got these recently, and I would have pre-submitted them, but I didn't have them previously. The ID scanner was installed within the last week. I was actually retained on or about March 25th or 26th, which is not very long ago. And Ms. Liu jumped to it and got an ID scanner to install in the business. The policy is that all the clerks are to ID individuals who appear under 30 years of age. The reality in South County is that they know most of their customers anyway. This was a circumstance where the manager on duty, Ms. Smith, was distracted. She was distracted because she was outside with another employee cleaning up trash that was dumped outside of their dumpsters. And she would have been on Mr. Weatherby's case about not IDing this particular customer who they didn't recognize as a regular, except that she was outside dealing with the trash that was dumped outside the dumpsters. And as you can see from this photograph, this isn't the first time that they've had refuse left on their premises. In fact, I suppose their locks that you can see on the dumpsters were effective, except that they created more work for the employees and they dumped it outside the dumpsters. So Ms. Smith was diligently attending to her management duties, which included being outside in the snow, trying to clean this trash up and unlocking the dumpsters. She took that photograph and then went inside to find the detectives writing up Mr. Weatherby for making a mistake. Mr. Weatherby was excused tonight, as was described by the licensee in her request, because he's being trained in Georgia to become a Capitol Police officer. He feels, very poorly about this situation, and he was worried that it may impact his qualification for his police training. Frankly, I'm happy he's not here to have to admit or deny the allegations. It's just a licensee. As you can tell, we don't have a defense. We're not challenging the facts here. We're giving the board the factual description from the licensee side of it. Ms. Liu is diligent. She takes her duties and obligations to abide the board's rules and regulations and the law seriously. She spent the money right away to obtain the ID scanner. She does have her staff appropriately trained, and Ms. Smith is alcohol trained. She's asking the board to possibly consider her mitigation here and consider potentially merging the counts, although that has not been the board's practice as of late. And we just ask the board for a fair consideration of the mitigation.
Mr. Chairman, any questions?
No questions.
Commissioner, any questions?
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just remembered I did have a question, so if I may. Officers, when you were inside, is that when Mrs. Smith came in? So she was outside? Or do you remember?
I believe so. I think we did see her outside. I don't recall when she
So
came
that
in.
supports her testimony? that
Yes.
she was-
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions.
Nothing in response. Is there anything you'd like to say, licensee or Ms. Smith? No. Thank you.
Okay. Well, as you've heard many times tonight and many times before, especially Mr. Lyman, this is your second offense. And the first time was just January 15th of 22. This is the second time. I'm going to make two motions. One motion is to change your restrictions and remove the 30 days of hire. That means when you hire somebody, you need to have them trained before you put them to work. And that's no reflection on Mrs. Smith or anybody else. It's just that we need to make sure that those people working for you are well aware of what they need to do. And I'm also going to make the second part of that motion in line with all the previous ones. And because it's a second offense, I'm going to make a motion to find you guilty of both minors and working under 21 years of age. I'm sorry, consuming under 21 years of age. $1,000 for each one, a total of $2,000. Looking for a second. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. And again, I do understand, and I apologize that you got caught up in this, but it's really important. This is your second. You don't want to come in for a third. All right. Have a good evening, and lots of luck to both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Thank you,
Lyman.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Our next case is for Plaza Garibaldi Mexican Restaurant, Inc. Plaza Garibaldi Mexican Restaurant, Inc. Maria Aguilar, President. Kenia Hernandez. Thank you, Mr. Gardner. I appreciate that. Anybody who wishes to testify for or against, please approach the table and remain standing. Thank you. And if you could remain standing and raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Detective Mountcastle, begin with you.
Detective Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
Beg your pardon?
Name and address for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted.
That's okay.
John Gardner, 7310 Ritchie Highway, Glen Burnie, Maryland, Suite 412.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Maria Eigler, 300 Phelps Avenue, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21016. Kenya Galdames, 610 Hanlen Road, Glen Burnie, 21061, Maryland.
Mario Shirum, 7878 Americana Circle, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21060. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hurdle?
Good evening, Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police. This was February 8th of this year, 2025, approximately 7 p.m. Detective Mountcastle and I were working Operation Save, conducting alcohol sales compliance checks of retail businesses and restaurants. We directed a confidential source 20 years of age to enter the Plaza Garibaldi Mexican restaurant located at 7917 Ritchie Highway, Glen Burnie, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. We observed the confidential source enter the restaurant. The CS went to the restaurant and sat at a table. The CS asked the server for a Blue Moon beer. The server did not ask the CS for identification and served the CS the Blue Moon beer sitting at the table. Detective Mountcastle and myself entered the restaurant and the CS exited. I know through my training and experience that Blue Moon beer is an alcoholic beverage. Detective Mountcastle and I identified ourselves as police officers to the server and asked to speak to the on-duty manager. The female server, who was later identified as Kenya Galdermez, advised that she didn't speak English and walked away. We attempted to speak with several employees on the scene who just kept walking around the restaurant. There were no employees cooperating with our questions. I finally walked into the rear of the kitchen area to an office, and I was followed back by an employee who stated, "The manager's not here right now," and walked away. Approximately 15 minutes later, a subject who identifies himself as Mario Zerum advised that the manager, Maria, was not in the restaurant, but he could call her. I asked him if he was on the liquor board's manager's agreement, and he advised no. I advised him that I needed the server's information for the report. Mr. Zerum was able to get the information from the server. A photograph was taken of the server, Galdames, and she still could not provide identification. The photograph was taken of the Blue Moon beer. It was also, the photograph was taken of the Anne Arundel County liquor license that was hanging on the wall. A copy of the report was forwarded to the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. The restaurant was not busy, and that would be my statement of facts.
Yeah. Yes, Detective, do you have confirmation of the age of the COS?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a Maryland MBA certified.
Very well. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, the server said she did not speak English and walked away. That's what the report says.
Right.
Wasn't she going to get somebody because she needed help because she did not speak English?
No, she never returned. She just disappeared in the restaurant, and we were sitting there for 15, 20 minutes trying to talk to this worker, that worker, and we were just completely ignored.
All right.
So it was at that point that I walked back into the kitchen to an office, which kind of startled a lot of the employees to see what's going on. So that's when I encountered the gentleman down there.
All right. For the record, at the end of the table. Okay. So, but some of the employees, did you Were you able to determine whether they spoke English well or understood English well or not?
No, I don't believe that. I don't. I honestly don't know because no one would speak to us.
They were confused, weren't they?
I don't know if it's confused. I think they were scared.
Well, okay. Close first cousin.
Right.
Okay. All right, and shortly after that, Mario Zirim, the manager, returned.
Yeah, I don't know if he was a manager. He said he said the manager Maria was not there, so I don't know what he was honestly. What his function was.
Once he got back, did he get you the information that you needed?
Yes.
Okay, once he got back, that happened.
Right.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Yes. But she was back kind of in the center part of the restaurant where I went back. You can kind of see in my report, there's a picture that I took where she kind of was just, I mean, I don't know what her issue was at the time, but she didn't have any ID. And I was just trying to get a point across to the other gentleman. We needed to know who she was for our report. I stressed the whole time that she wasn't in any trouble with us. I made sure that I got that point across so that she didn't feel like she was going to be, detained or arrested or anything like that. I made that very clear, and it just needed the information. So it just took a super long time for us to get the information. It eventually was gotten, so.
Okay, now you answered my question. Thank you very much. Did the licensee, Maria Aquilar, did she show up at all during the time you were there?
No.
Okay. I have a question for that gentleman at the end. Did you call Miss Maria?
I'll call Maria.
Did you call the owner?
Oh, yes, but she's not here, so.
He's not here?
She is not here. When
May I have Ms. Aguilar, who's the licensee, respond to that?
Of course.
I had left to California on February 5th to a funeral to California. I was flying back that day that incident happened. So when we landed, I had calls from him, from one of the other staff members, from her, and I was like, because my plane landed like about 9:30 at night, and we closed at 10 that night. So as soon as I landed, I said, "What happened? Why is all the?" And they told me what had happened, and you can imagine. The next morning, I did go in and I talked to everybody that what had happened, because in 20 years that I've been there, never. I mean, I've always been very strict with my employees, very especially on that. And my mistake was not to get her to that class, to get her alcohol awareness. But I did program that class before I went out to California, and the instructor gave me February 18th for the class. So of course she attended it, and whoever had to renew their license, their awareness certificate did.
I just got this today.
So, and everybody just like, well, nothing like that has ever happened. We panicked. We didn't know what happened till after, I guess the officer said, she sold to a minor. I asked him where he had gone. Everybody, like he said, it was slow. A lot of them were on the breaks. She stayed on table. She had worked a double shift, was going to get ready to leave at 9. His mistake was to leave, to go to the Walgreens, to take his break, to go to Walgreens, and not tell anybody. So when they were calling him, the workers were calling him, and that's when he turned back and he walked into the back door, and that's when he knew what was going on. He goes, and I say, yes, but the report says that you deny that you were not on the agreement, and you are on there. As a matter of fact, they double type his name on there, so. And he's like, I guess with all the commotion, everything going on. And I said, well, that doesn't explain. I go, but believe me, I gave him a lecture.
I'm handing up, Mr. Chairman, the December 2024 letter, which confirmed that Mr. Mario Zurum was on the management agreement at that time, at the time of the alleged offense.
Anybody want to see it? Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Right, thank you.
Any questions?
I have none more.
Gardner, it's your case.
Thank you very much. As I think has been noted, Ms. Aguilar noted, Plaza Garibaldi has been in business 28 years. This is the first offense. And number one, as to the issue of cooperation, I would submit that there was a language issue which did impair it. And it just, stuff happens. And the stuff that happened here was that the manager had left on a short break and he was back. Walgreens in that area is within 2 blocks or so. And so he didn't get that far. And so he was gone a very short time, came back as soon as the employees called him to respond to the situation. And I would submit that even Detective Middleton agrees that once he got back, then they got, the police got the information they needed. And the language issue did contribute to the misunderstanding about whether Mario Zurum was on the management agreement. My understanding is that the board has confirmed that he is, that there is a management agreement there. So it was, I think, primarily a language barrier issue that led to what may be perceived as a lack of cooperation. And so on that count of lack of cooperation, I would respectfully ask that that be dismissed. I think it's a questionable whether there was a lack of cooperation as opposed to being scared or being confused. On the other two, I would ask the board to consider leniency, mainly because there was an alcohol awareness certificate that had been scheduled and was and the certificate for Kania, the server, within a short time after that. I think Ms. Aguilar has already spoken to what her policy has been for 28 years in Plaza Garibaldi. And so I would ask for the board for leniency and for a merger of the two minors violation counts in this situation. Thank you.
Chairman, any questions?
No, no questions.
Commissioners?
Okay, well presented, Mr. Gardner.
Thank you.
I'm very familiar with that place. I was their inspector many years ago.
Right.
And that has nothing to play with the way they operate today because things change. But I also know that they've had a spotless record up to date. But it has been the guidelines of this board when it comes to sale to minors, right? That if it's a first offense and within 5 years, and this is the first offense in
ever.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the cooperation charge. Not that I don't believe the officers, because I do, but because of circumstances, the fact that the manager wasn't there and the server couldn't go to the manager, there may or may not have been a language barrier. I don't know how well you understand or speak the English language, and I'm not even going to ask you. So I am going to dismiss the cooperation, but I am going to make a motion that we find you guilty of the first offense for both the minors and the sale under 21. Now, Ms. Aguilar, that means that, you're going to get a fine of $500 for each of those two, a total of $1,000 plus whatever the cost is for the hearing. Please be careful, because as you've heard previously, second time, third time, it keeps climbing. And hopefully we'll never see you in here again.
I apologize. I left my guard down, but believe me, they heard me.
That's in the form of a motion. I'm looking for a second.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So be it. Okay, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gardner, you don't have far to go. Rinconcito Mexicano Restaurant is our next case. Would you like to waive reading, Mr. Gardner?
Yes, waive reading.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please do approach the table and remain standing. If you could, please stand, sir, and raise your right hand for me. I'm so sorry. I need you all to stand and raise your right hand for me. There we go. Do you solemnly swear to affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Detective Mountcastle.
Detective Mountcastle, Anne Arundel County Police.
Detective Middleton, Anne Arundel County Police.
Mr. Gardner?
John Gardner, 7310 Ritchie Highway, Suite 412, Glenbrook, Maryland, 21061.
Catalina Landaverde, 2204 Noble Way, Gambrills, Maryland, 21054.
Oscar Ponce, 308 Highland Drive, 21061, Glen.
Jose Landaverde, 2415 Maytime Drive, Gambrills, Maryland.
Thank you very much.
Detectives?
Detective Mountcastle. On 2/8/2025 at approximately 1800 hours, Detective Middleton and I were working Operation Save, conducting alcohol sales compliance checks at retail businesses, restaurants. We directed a confidential source, 20 years of age, subject to enter the Rinconcito Mexicano restaurant at 1103 Annapolis Road, Suite C in Odenton, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. We observed the confidential source enter the restaurant. The confidential source went into the restaurant and sat at the bar. The confidential source asked the bartender for a Corona Light beer. The bartender did not ask the confidential source for identification and served the confidential source the Corona Light beer while sitting at the bar. We entered the restaurant and the confidential source exited. I know through my training, knowledge, and experience that Corona Light beer is an alcoholic beverage. Detective Middleton and I identified ourselves as police and identified the bartender as Oscar Ernesto Ponce Plaza, date of birth of 12/18/83. Second from the end. A photograph was taken of the Corona Light beer. A photograph was taken of the Anne Arundel County liquor license hanging on the wall. A copy of the report was forwarded to Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. The manager, Mr. Lavadier, was polite and cooperative. The bar was not busy, and but the restaurant was full. The manager advised that one of the bartenders was out sick, and Mr. Lazo was helping with a large party in the rear of the restaurant. This case is closed.
Mr. Gardner, any questions?
Yes, do you have the confirmation of the age of the COS? Thank you. Thank you. And Detective, you indicated that the manager, Landaverde, was polite and cooperative. Was
Yes.
that a woman or a man?
It was a man.
It was? Okay. Did you talk to anyone else at the premises at that time, in addition to him?
I believe Detective Middleton was talking to the manager. I talked to the bartender more.
Okay. All right. That's all I have.
Chairman, any questions?
No questions.
Commissioners?
No questions?
No question.
Mr. Gardner?
I'll ask Ms. Catalina Landaverde, who's one of the owners of the premises. Ms. Landaverde, are you present at the restaurant during the week? How many days?
I'm there 6 days a week.
All right. And is this a reminder to the servers to check identifications for age under, if they look under 40 years old?
Yes, I had this at the bar.
And that's at the bar?
Yes.
And how long's it been at the bar?
Years. Many
Years?
Years, yes.
Many years? Okay. Rinconcito's been open since what, 2012?
2012, yes.
Okay. All right. I would offer this as an exhibit. And I would also
Thank you.
offer the certificate of alcohol awareness for the server, Oscar Laza, which expires in May of 2027. Ms. Landaverde, have you recently begun having staff meetings with all the employees at the beginning of each shift?
Yes.
And what do you tell them?
I'll tell them that I had to ask for ID if the customer looks younger than 40. All right. So every person that looks younger than 40, they need to show ID. And also I try to be upfront, like make sure that if I see a customer,
upfront in the restaurant,
upfront in
you
the
mean?
restaurant, yeah. I try. I seat the people, so if I see if they look younger, I make sure the server asks for ID.
So you will also remind them if you see somebody that
Yes.
you may think an ID needs to be requested of.
Correct.
Okay. And have you been an owner of the Reconcito since the time it opened?
Yes.
I have nothing further of her. I think the board is very clear that there was cooperation. The bartender had been busy with a large party in the middle of the restaurant. That is no excuse. But I think this is one of those situations where it was a mistake, and Ms. Landaverde and the managers are trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's why these policies and reminders at the beginning of the shifts will continue, and they'll continue probably more intensely now after this incident. So I would ask the board to take that into consideration. Reconcito's been open for 13 years, and this is the second violation. I think there was one about a year ago, but before that, there was nothing. And Ms. Landaverde is very intent on making sure this doesn't happen again, and I think the track record of 11, 12 years speaks as much volume as, unfortunately, the two violations in the last year or year and a half. Anyway, I would submit on that. I would ask for the merger of the counts, or for the board to consider that. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, any questions?
Oscar is still employed there? Is that correct? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Commissioners, any questions?
No question.
Okay. I am familiar with the location and the business somewhat over my years on the liquor board. And the only reason I'm even bringing that up is you went for a long, long, long time without a problem. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of less than a year, you've had two sting operations or sale to minors. That's not a good sign. And I'm sure you know that, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons you're doing what you're trying to do to correct things. But with that being said, time for a motion. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion. This is your second offense, and going by the guidelines that you've heard all night long, second offense within 5 years, $1,000 fine for each of the two charges, a total of $2,000 plus cost. I'm looking for a second.
A second.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it. Thank you very much. Lots of luck in the future. I'm sure this helped you
Thank you so much.
reiterate what you need to do.
I promise it won't happen again.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Good night.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Officers, thank you. I know it was a busy night for you. So
Thank you,
thank you
officers.
for all of your efforts.
Our second to last case is for Chopathy India Kitchen, Chopathy Hanover LLC, Rajan Singh, member, Sharam Yarlagada, Inspector Jeremy Fisher. This is for a new license located at 1741 Dorsey Road, Suite 107, Hanover, Maryland 21076 for a Class H restaurant, beer, wine, liquor, Sunday license. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please approach the table. If you could please raise your right hands for me, gentlemen. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm, under the penalty of perjury, that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. And, sir, if we could begin with your name and address for the record.
Yes, good evening. For the record, Sango, 5100 Dorsey Hall Drive, Ellicott City, 21042, on behalf of the applicants.
Thank you. Sir?
Yes, sir.
Name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Sriram Yarlagada, and I reside at 22010 East Creek Drive. That's in Ashburn, Virginia. Zip code is 20148.
Thank you.
My name is Rajan Singh, and I'm live in 7128 Tanager Avenue, Glen Burnie, Maryland 21060.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm going to start with Mr. Yarlagada. Good evening, Mr. Yarlagada. Are you one of the owners and an authorized member of Chopathy Hanover LLC, trading as Chopathy India Kitchen?
Yes, sir, I am.
And you own 90% of the business, is that right?
Yes, I do.
And you are here tonight asking this board for approval of a new Class H 7-day on-sale beer, wine, liquor license for a proposed 2,702 square foot Indian restaurant called Chopathy India Kitchen, located at 1741 Dorsey Road, Suite 107 in Hanover, Maryland.
That is right.
And the restaurant has been fully operational since 2018, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're seeking approval of the liquor license to add to the dining experience for your customers?
That is right, yes.
Could you explain to the board why the previous license at this location was returned or surrendered back to the board?
Sure. The restaurant has been operational since 2018. The previous owners who were running it as Chopathy India Kitchen went out of business. And when we took over the business, when we tried to renew the license, we were told that it was little late to get it renewed, and we had to apply for a new one. And it being the COVID era, we were not really looking at getting a liquor license at that time. So now we are in a much better place, and we think liquor license, adding liquor to the menu would complement our customers' experience.
What are the current hours of the operation of the restaurant?
We are open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays, and 9:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekends. That is Saturday and Sunday.
And there's going to be no adjustment of the hours of the liquor license,
right now, we with the availability of the liquor license, we might think about increasing the time to 11 o'clock at night, assuming that there are people who would want to drink at a later point in the night.
Your co-applicant, Mr. Singh, is next to you. He's the general manager. Are you going to be the full-time operator of the restaurant?
I am not. I've employed the services of Rajan Singh. He was also the previous liquor license holder for the previous management, and he's also a dear friend, and he has extensive experience in the retail industry. So we think he's going to be a welcome addition for us.
You do realize that the board requires either of the licensees to be on the premise at all times, or if you can, I know you're looking for also a shift manager. They can be added via the management agreement. But for now, in the event that you were granted this license, one of the two licensees at this point has to be.
Yeah, we are aware of that.
Okay, and how often do you anticipate being at the restaurant?
I am here around 2 or 3 times a week now. But with the advent of the liquor license and understanding that everything is going to change, I'm going to be here much more.
And you have another restaurant in Virginia?
I do. I have a restaurant in Virginia in Ashburn.
And what is your educational background, Mr. Yarbrough?
I have a master's degree in industrial engineering, and I also have a master's in an MBA. So.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No, I have not.
Have you ever held a liquor license before?
I have. The current restaurant that I have in Ashburn, I have a liquor license there from 2018 onwards.
Now, have you ever been adjudged guilty of violating the laws governing the state of alcoholic beverages for that license?
We have had a violation. unfortunately, during the course of operations, we were not able to manage that effectively. The violation was that there was not a certified manager during that particular time of operation. And what happened during that time was the employee who was supposed to be there that day called in sick, and before we could actually get somebody else to fill in his role, or maybe me coming in, we had an inspection done, and they've given us a violation, and we have corrected that right now. Right now, what we have done is about 3 or 4 of our staff are certified alcohol managers right now. So we have put in redundancies on there right now.
So, Mr. Yalagata, I know as a previous licensee, I know you have had techniques in alcohol management training yourself. You've been here tonight. I think you've seen the enforcement arm of Anne Arundel County as a robust operation.
Yes, it is.
You received an education tonight on the requirements. You realize you have to continue to maintain those alcohol certifications and make sure that somebody who is an approved person is on site at all times. You understand that?
Absolutely. I understood the gravity of it, and I've seen repercussions for some of these gentlemen here, and understand that. And we aim to make sure that we follow the rule of the law with as many safety practices as possible.
And you realize that before you can accept this license and begin to operate using the license, that you yourself will have to ensure that you're certified.
Yes, I am certified in the state of Virginia. However, I have also applied for I have my restaurant RAM certification test, alcohol awareness certification test scheduled for the 22nd of this month through RAM, Restaurant Association of Maryland.
And how many employees do you currently have?
Anywhere from 8 to 10.
And
it kind of keeps.
And how do you plan on training for those employees in alcohol management?
We have followed a regimen for our food manager certification. Most of our employees are food manager certified, food service manager certified. So we want to employ the same policy here. We want to make sure that we have redundancy. We have everybody who's serving in the front is certified.
Can you describe the concept of your restaurant?
It's a fast casual Indian restaurant. So we make everything to order, and we are also serving proper ethnic indigenous Indian food, starting from breakfast and delicacies that come from our culture.
These are the rules of the Liquor Board, the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. You and I, you see a copy of this, and you and I went through chapters 3 and 4, the prohibited acts, to make sure you understand those chapters.
Yes, sir.
After having reviewed those, understand those, are you confident that you'll be able to adhere to the laws of Anne Arundel County and the state of Maryland? Do you believe that the granting of this license will be an accommodation to the diners in your restaurant?
It will be, absolutely.
And can you ensure that the operation of the restaurant will not unduly disturb the peace and safety of nearby residents?
It will not disturb anybody.
Do you believe that the restaurant will have impact the health, safety, and welfare of the community in a negative way, including crime, traffic conditions, parking, or convenience?
No, sir. I can vouch for that. We have a very safe operation, and we are very confident that it will uphold the peace there.
Those are my questions for this witness.
There's any questions?
I'll move on to the next witness, if that's okay with the board. The next witness, Mr. Rajan.
Commissioners, any questions?
No questions?
No question.
Thank you. Mr. Singh, Rajan Singh, you are also an owner and an authorized member of the Chapathi Hanover LLC, trading as Chapathi India Kitchen, is that correct?
Yes.
And you hold 10%?
I hold 10% membership interest, and I'm as well a general manager.
Are you a resident property owner and registered voter of the state of Maryland?
Yes, currently I live in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Okay, and how long have you lived in Maryland?
Over 20 years.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
Have you ever held a liquor license before?
Yes, previously at this location, around 2018 when that restaurant opened until 2021, and then we returned the license to the board.
During that time, did you have any violations?
No.
And what do you currently do for a living?
I'm actually VP of operation in retail industry.
And how often do you anticipate being on site at the restaurant as a general
Almost 5 to 6 days. And then we're going to have certified alcohol certification the employees, and we're also looking for a manager.
And do you understand that the liquor board will be looking to you as the Maryland resident agent on the license to assure that the alcoholic beverage laws are enforced and complied with?
Yes, absolutely.
And are you confident that the operation can be run in a manner so that it is in compliance with the Arundel and state of Maryland laws?
Yes. Previously, board trusted me on this responsibility.
I also provided you a copy of these rules, and you and I both went through chapters 3 and 4 of prohibited acts. Was there anything in those rules that causes you any kind of hesitation in your ability to enforce these laws?
No, not at all.
You were also have previously been certified in techniques in alcohol management, but you also are going to renew prior to the issuance of this license.
Yes, I was previously certified alcohol certification before, tip SUBSAFE. Now I'm scheduled to take an exam on April 16th with the, what's that, RMA? The Restaurant Maryland Association.
Restaurant
Yes.
Association of Maryland, okay. And are you able to ensure the operation of this restaurant will not unduly disturb the peace and safety of nearby residents?
Yes, not at all.
And do you believe that the restaurant will impact the health, safety, and welfare of the community in a negative way, including crime, traffic conditions, parking, and convenience?
No, not at all.
And do you believe, as an Anne Arundel County resident, that the availability of liquor beverages as part of a meal will be an accommodation to the public?
Yes, absolutely.
Those are my questions for this witness.
No question.
No, sir, that's our case.
So that's in the form of a motion. I'm looking for a second.
A second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Lots of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Our final case of the evening is Oliver Brewing Company. Oliver Brewery LLC. Amy Dvorkin, member. Inspector Megan Harlow. This is a new license located at 8370 Jumpers Hole Road in Millersville, Maryland, 21108. It's for a Class B restaurant. Beer, wine, liquor on off sale. Dancing, growler, Sunday license with outdoor service. Anybody wishing to testify for or against, please approach the table. If you could raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the applicant Amy Dvorkin for Oliver Brewery LLC. If I may proceed.
Ms. Dvorkin, if you could state your name and address for the record, I apologize.
Name Amy Dvorkin, address 522 Harlequin Lane, Severna Park, 21146.
Great, thank you.
If I may proceed by way of a proffer, and Mr. Dvorkin is available for any questions that the board may have. This is an application for a new Class B restaurant license with on and off sale growler, dancing, and Sunday license with outdoor dining. This entire project entailed the purchase of the entire building complex in an industrial park for $5.5 million. The one portion of the space will be dedicated to craft brewery. The restaurant will be a separate entity, separate and apart, and will entail the restaurant that is envisioned by Ms. Dvorkin. She is the 100% sole owner of Oliver Brewery LLC. It does not own any other liquor license establishments or any other businesses for that matter. She lives about 10 minutes away in Severna Park, right? Mm-hmm. And she won't necessarily be there 100 hours a week, but she's going to be the hands-on person for this operation. She has several years prior experience. The family's been involved with Oliver Brewery, not since its inception, but since approximately 2009. Digress a little bit, the manufacturing aspect is located in Baltimore City. They're giving up that lease. They're going to take over this space and moving into Anne Arundel County, closer to where the Dvorkins live. As I said, the restaurant's going to be separate and apart. The space for the restaurant consists of approximately 6,000 square feet. The restaurant portion is expected to have a capacity of somewhere around 270 people, and the outdoor area would be about 149. There will be no access from the exterior. You have to go in through the front entrance and through the restaurant in order to access the outdoor table service. We still owe the board our outdoor table service application, but that is forthcoming. We've got that pretty much worked out. Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's going to be a full restaurant menu. The restaurant's going to feature a pizza oven, so a lot of what is going to be produced will be cooked in the pizza oven, but it'll be an American type of menu. The proposed hours and days of operation are 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to midnight on weekdays, and Saturdays and Sundays, 9 a.m. to midnight. They expect to do a brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. There is a request for live entertainment. Initially, it's envisioned that this would be an acoustic type of music near the bar on the interior. There's not going to be any live music on the outside. There are going to be small speakers to pipe music to the outdoor area, but it's not anticipated that that's going to in any way disturb the public. The layout of this building is such that any residential, it's like an industrial park near another industrial park, but the closest residential will be on the back side of the building from where the restaurant and the outdoor table service, and it was the architects planned it that way so that it would be minimum public disturbance to any nearby neighbors. There is ample parking. It hasn't been. I don't think it's been completed where they've marked out the number of spots, but it's going to be well over anything that's possibly needed for the restaurant. Ms. Dvorkin has many years' experience in the restaurant business. Currently, she's been doing books and staying with her 7 and 5-year-old, and she's ready to get back into it. Expected to have between 30 and 40 employees, probably 4 to 5 full-time managers. Everyone is going to be required to be alcohol awareness certified. Any requirements for the managers to be registered will also be complied with. I think I've covered everything. Ms. Dvorkin, you've been through the application with me, or the applications. Yes. Nothing has changed since we've submitted this?
No.
And everything was true?
Yes.
Okay. I think I covered everything, but if the board has any questions.
You plan on doing, I can't imagine that, you're going to be that type of establishment that we, the board members, need to be concerned about that. I have no problem. I looked through the application closely. It's a well-done application. But As far as the outdoor service, like I say, I think there's a little bit more that needs to be answered for that. So I have no further questions at this point.
Commissioners?
I have no question.
Okay, well, this one went good for our last case. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to approve the license, but I'm not going to approve the outdoor service until such time as you fulfill all the requirements that our administration needs. But at that time, you won't have to come back in for another hearing. They will present it to the board members, myself particularly, and if we see that everything is in line, we can then approve it for you. Okay? So for now, your license is approved, pending all your paperwork is in good shape. All right, that's a motion. I'm looking for a second.
I second the motion.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Done?
Thank you so
Very
much.
good. Lots of luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, good job. All right. That's the end of tonight's hearing. Thank you all for coming. I gotta go with it.
When did you